From the recently announced continuation to Konosuba, to the release date and trailer for Overlord's upcoming Season 3, I'm your host, Anime Sam, and this is AniNews. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to your bi-weekly, occasional fix of anime news, where we go over the most recent previews and announcements for upcoming anime. So let's get straight into it with the newest previews, of course starting with the upcoming summer movie for Seven Deadly Sins, titled Prisoners of the Sky. A few days ago, we were treated to the first look at what we could expect from this side story of a film, and it looks just as you'd expect any shonen side story movie too. You've got the main cast going on some adventure to a remote land where they encounter new people and none other than the members of the demon clan who call themselves the Six Knights of Black. Now, I'm familiar with the manga, so I know how far the story goes after this airing season. And even with the events that's transpired this season, it's hard to think that there's anyone aside from the Ten Commandments and the Demon Clan that could possibly pose a threat to Meliodas, or any of the Sins for that matter. Like, you're trying to introduce new characters who are apparently supposed to be strong enough to go toe-to-toe with Meliodas, or even Escanor, when their power levels are at or even higher than 60,000. Okay, well, good luck with that. But hey, maybe we'll get a well-animated fight for once. Alright, now we can talk about Overlord. A couple of days ago, we got our first look at the trailer for Season 3, or what should really just be called Season 2 Part 2. Like, for some reason, even the title sequence only shows the Roman numeral 2. But in case you're wondering, I did go back and check, and last season did have the number 1 in it, so at least they're being consistent in their count. Anyway, we did in fact get a release date for Season 3 before this trailer was released, and putting aside the July 5th Anime Expo premiere date, the first episode will air on July 10th. So mark your calendars, everyone, because on that day, not only will you get some more Overlord anime, but I also might have a surprise waiting for you here on my channel. As for what we saw in the trailer, we got an extremely epic intro for the duel between Ainz and Gazif. Rest this poor man's soul for what he's about to experience, but I honestly cannot wait to see it happen. Moving on to some lesser mainstream titles, we got a trailer for a new running anime whose name I can't pronounce, so I'll just leave a title. But the last time that I watched a show about running, it was Prince of Stride, and I damn near fell asleep because of how boring it was. But this show, I'm willing to give it a chance, because in case you couldn't tell by the character designs, it's being done by the same studio that adapted Haikyuu, Production IG. And Haikyuu was an absolutely amazing show to watch. So I'm fairly excited to see how they're able to approach and adapt a more simple individual sport in comparison to what we've seen in Haikyuu. Then we've got your typical summer action anime, Phantom in the Twilight. I don't think this will show up on too many people's radars simply because of how generic it looks, but I could be mistaken. It's a rather simple plot. A girl stumbles across a group of guys who also happen to be the guardians of the boundary between what's essentially the human world and the demon world. So if you're not too caught up with Overlord, then you can also watch the first episode of this anime on July 10th. Another summer action anime that's airing the day after that is Genko Kasenki, a historical anime that covers the events of the first Mongol invasion of Japan in the year 1274. I think what makes this anime unique though is its different art style, like it was drawn on that vintage paper that you see used in old paintings. But other than that, there's not too much else to say about it. And the last preview on the list is the first trailer for a sequel that I honestly didn't even know was happening. The Grisaia series is getting another TV anime called Phantom Trigger. And instead of the classic harem girls that we came to know, we're getting a completely new group of high school girls that will be training to become the next generation of anti-terrorist operatives. Honestly though, despite the amount of ecchi in the original trilogy, I actually really enjoyed it for some reason. I couldn't tell you why though, I just remember liking it enough to watch all 3 seasons and then whatever other random installments that they came out with. There's no release date given yet, but I'll be sure to keep you updated once more information comes out. Now moving on to what I'm sure a lot of you have been waiting for. Yep, that's right ladies and gentlemen, we'll get to see our favorite group of adventurers return for a third time in yet another installment of Konosuba. But unfortunately, no, it's not a third season, but instead will be a feature-length film. However, this film will not be produced by Studio Dean, who had worked on seasons 1 and 2. No, instead we'll be getting the other big-name studio JC Staff, otherwise known for working on shows like Toradora and Denmachi. So it'll be pretty cool to see how a movie-budget Konosuba will look from a different studio, even though that last episode from season 2 had some damn good quality animation. Other than that though, there has been no information regarding the release date or plot, but as I said before, I'll keep you updated. Then in other anime announcements, the Dear King novel series by Nahoko Uehashi will be getting an anime. The fantasy manga Mayonaka no Occult Komuin and the slice of life manga Jingai-san no Yome will both be getting anime adaptations. Volumes 1 to 17 of Hinomaru Zumo are getting an anime in October alongside the second season of Golden Kamuy. And finally, we got the logo preview for the upcoming Studio Trigger X-Flag collab production, Premiere. And that's everything that I've got for you guys today. So my next video will be a Fate one, then probably a new SAO one that I've been meaning to work on. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this type of anime news content, then you already know what to do. So until next time, ciao!